just for cameras or whatever, and it's just if you just keep your face completely still and just say it. So I did this big dramatic speech, completely sort of still, and then he said, "Oh, that's fine. That'll be all right. We'll take that." And I said, "Oh no," because I mean I would imagine, you know, crying and emoting and I said, "Oh, I can do it much better than that, much better. I know how to do that." And he said, "No, that's trust me, that'll be fine." And of course it was so much better than me moving my face all over the place. I mean,
I wasn't breathing when it came out. Didn't make a sound. Never moved. I know, because I looked. And there was something, I don't know, something the matter with its head. It wasn't right, you could tell. The doctor told him. He said so afterwards. He agreed. He told him. So you can't say it was murder. I'd never do a thing like that.
Bertolt Brecht's Bâle, Buchner's Danton's Death, Solzhenitsyn's Love Girl and the Innocent. No matter the period, everything that Alan did related to the present. That was the experience of working with him. Everything he did was important, and it mattered, and it had to be communicated. And he was gifted with a sharp sense of humour, which he often used to rescue people from becoming too serious. It was a mark of his kindness. In 1976, Roy Minton and Alan discussed material for a film about life inside Borstal institutions. At the time, Alan didn't realise that his work as a director and his relationship with the BBC was entering a watershed. And that watershed was Scum.
Today, the BBC itself has been in the news. As you've probably read in the papers, Alistair Milne, BBC Television's managing director, and Bill Cotton, the controller of BBC One, have banned a play already filmed at a cost of £120,000.
Within the first 10 minutes, everybody who is brought, every Borstal inmate is brought in, the new people are brought in. They're slapped across the face by all the warders. The warders throw people bodily into cells. There are fights, there are staged situations where confrontations in black and white are staged. And although I am sure, and the advice I took later indicated that incidents of that kind must and do occur over a long period of time in Borstal, it seemed to me that putting the whole thing together into one compendium, as it were, of incident and violence, which is what emerges at the end, was going to distort totally under the guise, if you like, of a dramatic truth of what actually happens in Borstal institutions.
The violence is only an aspect of the film, really. The main point of the film, really, is its criticism of the way that the prison officers behave towards the boys. That's one of the main planks of the film. And it was on that basis, really, that the BBC banned it.
Move, you spastic bastard! Get out there, Colin! Come on, let them double! Move! Right, in you get. It's too hot.
Sir?
Too hot, sir.
Get in. In.
What he wanted to do is exactly what the BBC exists to do, which is to show people life from a different angle and to show people what happens behind closed doors. What, as in the case of Scum, what happens at a place where boys are sent supposedly to learn how to be decent citizens, whereas in fact they're in many cases brutalized and have their emotional lives so deadened that it's a miracle if they recover ever.
Davis. Here, Davis. Over here. What do you want?
Another reason cited by BBC management for the banning was that the film looked too much like a documentary.
Davis, you slob! This isn't a pigsty. Get that floor polished.
Sir?
Move yourself and get that floor done!
The performances that Alan got from actors and the way that he got the camera into the action, I mean, where he chose to put his camera, how he chose to move his camera, makes the audience feel that it's very immediate, that it's real. And that's what's so exciting.
Today, murder ball, right? Which basically means once we get going, is that one team has got to get the ball on one mat that side and one team's got to get the ball on the mat on the other side, right? And you want to play this game because the object of the game from all of your points of view is to get a bit of fist in, right? Is to release some energy and is to enjoy yourselves in the game, right? We'll just lay off the violence a little bit on it and I'll slot in the violence later as the day wears on. Now when you move, all the white kids go, i.e. white racially, right? Go down there and all the black kids go, regardless of what colour vest you're wearing, go down to there, all right?
And he got a youth club in from Leytonstone, all black guys, to be the opposition. Set up his cameras and a murder ball. You put a medicine ball in the middle of a gym, and there's only no biting and no kicking, and you know one team's got to get the ball to the other end.
And he went up to all the black guys. He said, "Listen, guys, I don't want no aggravation, but I've heard that the white guys are going to get stuck into you." And then he walked down to us and he said, "Listen, be on your toes. The black guys are going to start." So right away it went off.
And we started, and I got a whack in the nose straight away from one of these guys, and I mean, it was real. And I said to Alan, I said, "What's going on?" And he just said, "Get in there, my son." So we did.
You know, the best way to show violence is to actually show it's painful, it hurts. You know, if you show someone getting hit with an iron bar and they get up, well then you've lost the reality of what the pain's all about. You know, that's a bad way of showing violence. So no, it shouldn't have been banned for the simple reason it actually showed violence in the right context. You know, that it was painful. And if you're going to show violence on TV or on film, that's how it should be shown, you know.
I don't like asking. Read it again, Ben. Please. I'll give you some sweets on payday.
The controversy surrounding the depiction of violence obscures the fact that the film contains moments of great stillness and compassion.
Ben. Dear Donald. Ben. What? You forgot the address. 33 Killingworth Street, Islington. Dear Donald.
The main thesis of the film is that Borstal doesn't work, and it's something that society needs to talk about.
It all too clearly showed the state of Borstal prisons in our society, which still exists in our society today in '91. And that, I think, has been I think Alan, like other individuals before him and other individuals after him, took a lot of flack for carrying the message. From the time of the Greeks, they used to kill the messenger if the news that coming from the front was of defeat. And I think there's a lot of kill the messenger and ignore the message that applies in the life of Alan Clarke.
Alan went on to make Scum for a second time for the cinema. Mary Whitehouse brought a High Court action against the IBA when Channel 4 screened this version of the film. She won the case, but the judgment was reversed on appeal. And now, 13 years after it was banned by the BBC, the original version of the film will be screened for the first time as part of the Alan Clarke season.
I think that the combination of the hurt and the upset about the callous and, I think, stupid way in which the BBC treated